Right, I believe we are live. Let me double check. Looks to be so. Let me just get everything muted. Bosh. Alright, send out the link. Bosh. Good morning, Chris. Hope you're well. It's not morning for me either, by the way. I know we're all on different times, aren't we? But it's the morning of the stock market. It's 9 AM for the UK lot, and it's about 2 AM, 3 AM for New York. What are they, 5 hours behind? So it'll be 4 AM for those guys. I don't know how they do it. I know there's people in America that will literally wake up at like 3 AM for the London session. Oh fuck, hold on a sec, I've spilled my coffee, fuck's sake. And I'm back. Just had to clean up some iced coffee spillage in aisle 4. How we doing all? Morning, James. We gonna see some fucking signals today or what? Oh, it's a strong one this afternoon on the old 7-Eleven iced coffee. We've swept, so check this, we've swept the pound Asian low, but we've swept the euro Asian high. So I don't like the look of this immediately, straight away, at all. It's a heavy news day as well. We've got a lot of GDP news later. CAD GBP, US dollar GDP, ADP non-farm employment change on the dollar, German CPIs all day. So I do have a feeling that we might not get any trades today, just to throw that idea out there. But you can never be sure. Sort of like in an MMA fight, where you think one guy's going to win, and then in reality, like, there is a massive chance that something happens. So we'll see. We've swept the pound low, but now we swept the pound low here, right? Okay, so if you were trading the Asian sweep system, that would sweep. You could either trade the change of character and get an entry up here with stops beneath there, which would have been stopped out, or you can wait for it to pull back to a decent level from that wave, which again would have also been stopped out now. So those guys have took a loss on the pound by doing so. So what we really want to wait for, if we're looking for this to continue lower, is we want to say, okay, here was the breakout level. It was quite early at 7, so maybe we just ignore that was the breakout and look for this as the actual sweep. But again, that's actually broke out lower again. So this would be our level that we want to see price confidently close beneath. So we'll call that our substructure. I'll make it a different colour from the rest just so we can see. But this is the level that is sort of like your make or break. If price is going to trade and trend beneath this, then we want to look for it to extend lower. But right now, this is a very sensitive zone for a potential reversal. So we don't want to just sell here to the downside because we're in this danger zone. Okay, so we are going to need a little bit of patience at the moment in order to see how price really develops. So that's kind of what we're looking at on GU. So don't fall for the trap of just thinking, yeah, I'm getting lower low, lower high logic. I've got my EMA that's been used as resistance multiple times, therefore it's a trade. You need to understand the trading range that's presented to you. And I know when Goran put the message in the VIP lounge yesterday, I know I got it wrong where I thought he was looking at the current market on EU. Because the thing that he sent in looked really, to me anyway, looked really like this structure, and he was trying to trade the breakout of this. And then what I said was that you need to be aware of the other trend line that's limiting that range. And a good way to think about it is that you want price to have like a clear runway ahead of itself. So with this, for example, you wouldn't be wanting to sell from here just yet because we still need to contest this zone, which is a danger zone right now. So as soon as that's clear, okay, like that for example, then we've got the clear runway, all this extra canvas space that we can trade into, because the next zone that we want to take out is down here. Okay, so using that analogy of having a clear runway is a very good example, because the plane's not going to take off if there's another plane on the runway. So yeah, as soon as this level breaks out and we start trending beneath it, then we can look, okay, this is where price is going to get induced towards. But right now, there's such a risk that this just gets swept from there and then we trade higher and take out these levels. So I wouldn't look to short this just yet, even though it looks like a potential setup if you were to ignore that part of it. So let's see if we can trade confidently beneath this substructure on the pound. And then on the euro, we do have a successful Asian sweep by the looks of it. So the Asian high got swept, and then you could either trade this from this change of character there, which would have been a decent entry. As soon as that low got broke, you could have had a sell through there, and then either sell all the way down there for like a 4R, maybe target there, maybe just target a 2.5 or a 3, but that one's looking nice. And then as well, you could have waited for the pullback from that. You would have had to catch that on the 50%. Stops above the high, and then that gives you a nice 3.5 down the bottom there. So not actually as good as if you just had a sell stop on that this time around, but sometimes waiting for the pullback gets you a better entry. The reason I'm showcasing this today, okay, is because the characteristic of how price reacts after the Asian close is very important to understand your bias for the London session. And all of that which I just showed you, we do have this coded now, Okay, so a little sneak peek of the next algorithm that we're releasing, and the next plug and play that we'll probably release is to do with this Asian sweep strategy. So it is very mechanical, and we have essentially got this coded into not only a Pine script but also an MQL5 script as well, so it can trade on MetaTrader for us, which is pretty cool. There is a lot of variables to it, so I do want to fine tune it and simulate it, and rather than it being like, I think this is better, or I think that is better, just let the data decide what's the best way to trade it in terms of, is it using a stop order after that change of character direct, or is it waiting for a pullback? You know, should we target the actual range or just a set 2 or 3 RR? Where should the stop loss be? Should it be tight there? Maybe cut it down and make smaller stop losses, so the win rate would be lower but your RR's higher, stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to this one. So yeah, that's a little Easter egg of what we're going to see in the next month. So yeah, really cool. Because this is the thing. This is kind of something that really inspired me to get into the algo space. Having some coding experience and like robotics experience from what I was doing before with mechanical engineering, it was a bit like, well, if all of this is just a set of rules that we're doing, why don't we just teach it to a computer? And it's like, oh, that is literally what people do. It's just, yeah, one of them things. That's not really that innovative, and it's kind of like these strategies and stuff like this, and when people make something like that, it's kind of like their golden ticket, so they kind of don't even want to share it unless it's for a very high price, which kind of obviously makes sense, but it also adds a massive barrier to even get a hold of it and stuff. So yeah, we're trying to pioneer a lot in this space, put it that way. But it looks like the euro's falling as we expected, so our bias looks to be bearish. And then same idea here on the pound. Even though the low got swept, as long as we can trade beneath this and this be a failed Asian sweep, we also have a bearish bias on the pound for London session 2. So it looks like this structure has closed beneath, which is cool. That kind of wipes out the idea of this pushing higher, so we're clear from the danger zone now. So what I would be expecting is for our EMA to carry on. This forms some form of low. Look for our fib and see where we're going to trade this from. Okay, so that's just sort of an idea of what we were looking at. That's using the 61.8. If we want to catch deeper, then we're going to have stops above the high, either 71 or 78.6. That's all based on the idea that we have the necessary candlestick rejections as we're approaching it, and then we'll look to go lower. So that's the idea. Would you say there's an SMT between EU and GU right now, so we should be selling the weaker pair GU? It's not really something that I consider as part of what I'm doing, to be honest. I like EU better because it's always lower spreads. So if we do get a setup on both, I kind of favour EU because the spread damage is going to be less. So you're actually making more of that profit that you're making. Even now, I kind of, if the entry comes here, I kind of prefer to take the euro because we're still looking to take out this Asian low, whereas this doesn't have liquidity till all the way down here. So that's one thing that's affecting my judgment of that as well as all this other session range that's quite close to the euro, whereas the pound has got quite a long way to fall to reach that. We can always place both trades as well, because although they are highly correlated, we can see here they're not the same. Okay, they take out different levels, they behave differently, especially post-Brexit as well. The behaviour of the pound and the euro is isn't as coupled as people think, but generally what happens to one will happen to the other. And there's also a lot of news today which will affect it as well, like it's the German CPIs today, which is obviously going to mess with the euro. But yeah, that is a great question when we've got the setup on both. Would you be able to cover the Asian session sweep when we get set with? Yeah, we will. Jordan and Lewis trade it more than I do. I know it. It's kind of one of them things where I don't need to manual trade it. It's a little bit too much me manually trading this strategy and then the day trading strategy and then also another strategy. I did used to do it and it was just a little bit too much. That's why I want to code it all so that I can still trade it, but just have it in a code, and that would make it a lot easier. But yeah, we will have an Asian sweep channel in there, exactly, James. Yeah, so we'll have a channel for either each trader or each strategy to keep things separate. Because yeah, you shouldn't even really overlap them on the same account unless you're treating them both with half risk as well. But I know some people will just like take the trade from both strategies and use 1% risk on each, which is basically like using 2% risk per trade. So that's also something that you need to consider with your risk management. But yeah, we'll have it as a plug and play as well. So you'll get a notification. This is the benefit of coding a plug and play. Even if you know the strategy, having it coded will mean that you're spending less time on the charts looking at it, because TradingView will alert you when it's happening. So if you don't get the notification, you know you don't even need to be on the charts. But if you get a notification, you'll know, okay, the Asian high has been swept. We can expect a trade approaching soon, perhaps, and stuff like that. So I know most of us just like that habit anyway of checking the charts in the morning, but it is a benefit for people that are getting into trading as beginners and don't quite have that habit, or maybe you've got a busy work life and stuff, and it would genuinely make your life easier to simplify that side of it so that you don't have to check it every morning to see if it's swept. If you don't get the alert, it means it hasn't, and if you do get the alert, it means that it has. So that's a pretty cool feature to add in terms of like trading routine. And then also having it just trade for you is such a perk, because then it means you can trade other stuff while that's trading for you, basically. I do prefer this on the euro. We've got lower, high structure. We've got EMA being used as resistance multiple times. We've got the low that hasn't yet been swept, and we're trading within the idea of the Asian direction. So this could be a pretty nice trade to catch. Pound looks good too. Find the pound to be a bit more volatile than the euro. You get a lot more bigger wave moves. But yeah, I think as long as that's the low, this is valid. Let's have a look where it's retraced to previously. From this high to this low, we had a 50%. From this high to this low, we had a 71. From that high to that low, that was at least 78.6. No point even checking. So I think sensibly, we want to be targeting a 71. That's at the 48, so do a couple ticks like that. So that's the idea at the moment. Pound, we have a 61.8 retracement, and then a 50, and then a 71. So that one would probably be a 71 that we'd be expecting as well. Cool, so that's the move. Do you think we're close to onboarding by chance? Yeah, I do. It's just empty at the moment. Like, it's all laid out and stuff. We're just waiting really on the web pages to be finished so that we can have web pages in the chats to have the courses attached and explain everything. Because otherwise what we face is we get a whole load of people join and all ask the same question and stuff like that. Whereas all that information is ready. It's just about presenting it and laying it out with least resistance. Let's check what's happening on this realm. So I know, are we on the right setting here? No, we're not. Aussie dollar needs Aussie dollar. I mean, Aussie CAD wasn't too bad on there. No recent trades on Aussie dollar. I know that we've just had an Aussie CAD win print on here. Yeah, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins in a row now, which is pretty cool. 5 trade win streak on Aussie dollar on the plug and play. Let's go through all the other ones, see what we're looking like recently on these. Check Aussie JPY. This one's a higher R strategy, taking much bigger trades. Lower win rate, but still overall nice and profitable. Aussie US dollar we've looked at, haven't we? Chef JPY. This one's a bit more of a swinger as well. Had a clean run since February. What else? EURUSD. That's just taken an unlucky loss there, unfortunately. But we're having a nice clean run before then. 1, 2, 3, 4 wins in a row and then followed by a loss. That's since April. So this month, oh no, that was April as well. Oh, quite an active month then. So April we've had 1 win, 1 loss, 2 loss, 3 loss, 1 win, 1 win, 1 win, 1 win, 1 win. So we're definitely up for April. Give it a check. April is the 4th. Let's just do that to the future. Yeah, it looks weird because there's only 8 trades, but it's still up. We started off in drawdown and then we're up. But that's not quite as cool as a as like a longer time frame one, is it? Very nice. Yeah, let's not take our eye off this too much. Yeah, so bearish bias is pretty confirmed. We want to be seeing some rejections from like this zone. Bang an alert on that. That Bosch. And then we normally have this to a nice solid 3-year cycle. Euro GBP. I think Euro GBP is a bit more refined, so it's quite low volume. Still decent amount though. There's like a swing system. It's a nice little patch there, back to back, playing ping pong with the charts. Euro JPY. Check this one. It's holding a nice trade there. Oh, that came just shy of TP as well, but it should make its way back up. Yeah, the thing with JPY pairs, and I've mentioned this before, is they have some good winning streaks when the market's going our way, and then they just take some losing streaks when it's not. So it's one of those, if you trade in a JPY pair, you have to accept the nature of that, where you could just run through like 4 losses in a row, and then followed by like 6 wins in a row there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins in a row. 8 if you count that one as well. But then you just hold some drawdown. So these ones usually have like higher drawdown levels, and you just see like huge win streak, loss streak, win streak, loss streak. So yeah, have a bit of fun with your yen pairs, definitely. Pound Aussie. This one's a higher RR aim, so win rate's going to be lower. Check the RR on them. But yeah, that looks to be similar. With your high RR pairs with this strategy, what you will notice is that if the market is just trending against you and it's trying to trade those reversals, you can hold a decent amount of losses in a row. But it's higher RR, so you're making 2.6 every win. So these 2 wins there overpower like the past 5 losses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 losses in a row. 2 wins and you're even up a little bit from that view. So that's the thing with higher RRs. Everyone like beginner traders, they always want the highest RR possible, but then you have to accept that comes with a lower win rate compared to trading with a high win rate and low RRs. It's just the opposite trade-off. So you're going to win a lot more than you lose, but when you win, you're not making as much every time. But I know this thing can go on some insane winning streaks. I remember last time we saw this and it was like a 29 trade win streak. So yeah, for beginner traders it is a lot better. I think, to have higher RR, higher win rate and a lower RR. That's kind of why we use them on all the autopilot systems, because they're a lot more retail friendly. Because you know how it is with trading psychology and taking a loss. But then obviously the only downside is you have to take losses anyway. So it's just about how you manage them. But yeah, this thing since like September 24, he's just been creaming the markets, like constantly just winning, making like 0.25% each time. But you can see here, like, we're just scalping these little moves. Took a loss there, okay, but everything else is just scalping these little like 0.25 moves. Another loss there. Another one. And then getting into February, I think this is where the tariff shit starts. So market does trend a little bit more out of the ordinary, but still not enough that we can't deal with it. I mean, look at this. This is in the space of 10th of March to 13th of March, 3-day period, 4 trades, 4 wins, which is nice and clean. But yeah, that's the trade-off with RR and win rate. Check New Zealand dollar. This one's about to hit TP, look. This one seems like it's pretty active non-stop. Probably just because the dollar's been so volatile. That was a nice exit at break even there, but then if you would have held, it would have just kept going. So if you do trade it without early closes, you would have caught that and held it all the way. That's without early closes, 40, 16, and then with early closes, 33, 17. So this one is actually better on New Zealand dollar if we do just buy and hold, or sell and hold all the way to TP and stop loss, rather than them early closes. This was a little nice back-to-back run. TP, short, TP, buy. TP, short, TP, buy. But yeah, it's cool to watch. Cool to watch it in action. How it works. This one's about to hit our TP, which is nice. Right, so we've hit that level. That's when we'll really have our eyes on. What we want to do is line up the position now, get it ready, just in case we do need to enter. Stop loss is 6.8 pips. So let's mark it up ready, but we're not placing any limits or anything just yet until we have that confirmation. Right, to be honest, this tweezer top from the 50 and from the EMA is rejection. So I think we can start placing our limit orders on that level for this now, whether it's going to come back or not. So we want this to tap us in and reverse. Let's get this one sent out. So we'll go TP, stop loss. Even type the entry out manually, like a caveman. Bosh. See what happens with that. We're approaching. We want a reaction from the 71. That is a strong rejection from that 61.8. Not quite the 71 though. Wicking through that EMA. Close, but no cigar. Still valid. Still valid for now, but that is just shy of our entry in a big reversal. Let's see if we can get a rebound. Well, we don't have that retracement up to the 71 just yet. We had a entry opportunity from the 61.8, and we can see how the EMA is acting as resistance with loads of wicks coming through that EMA line. Price has failed to close above it just yet. So it's a decent confluence for us, but we've just, we've not had our entry, so it doesn't really mean shit. So yeah, let's just keep holding out. That entry is still valid, so let's just wait to see if we get tagged in or not. So here again, we've got another attempt at breaking that EMA, which failed, used it as resistance and pushed lower. So while this is obeying what we want it to do, we kind of need it to come higher in order to get tagged in. So the idea is right, the entry is still valid, we just haven't been tagged in yet. So if price gets to down here and matches this low, then we'll take the limit order off. But for now, we have just got to sit tight and be a little bit more patient to get tagged in. And there is always the possibility that this just reverses and takes off without us and we just don't get an entry. Okay, so looks like we might be approaching our entry here, which is nice. Let's see. We're still valid for that bearish bias. We've waited patiently for this. So let's see if we get tagged in and then reverse. Let's move this along now that we're closer to time. That's what we're after. See if we get tagged in or not. I may have just jinxed that. Sorry, lads. We've came very, very close, but no cigar just yet. Just checking my accounts to see if any have been tagged in due to a different price feed, but it doesn't look so. No, still just a limit order. We've got that shooting star rejection as well from very close to the 71. But not just entered just yet. The rejection from the 5-minute EMA is there as well. Yeah, exactly, Chris. That's another good little driving force. But looking very bearish on these higher time frames, so I'm not panicked at all. We are correct to have this bearish bias, and this stop loss being hit would mean that these levels are getting taken out, which, you know, following our strategy is unlikely during these hours when we have this sentiment and this confluence. So we're always backed by data no matter what happens. But yeah, hopefully we can get tagged in and make some profits. We just got to wait and see what happens. Right, we are approaching. We're approaching that entry, so let's see if we can get tagged in. Keep an eye on your limits. There we go. Right, that's tagged in. Beautiful. So patience pays. Now let's see if we get that reversal that we're hoping for or not. Falling very nicely. So this is about 5 minutes after our entry. The limit was tagged in perfectly within that wick, and we've instantly rejected and started selling off. So you couldn't really ask for a better sign after getting tagged in. So again, we just got to wait and see. Don't ever celebrate while it's still open. It's just bad practice, don't count your chips while they're at the table, but it's definitely a good sign that the trade is playing out in our direction. So just wait and see what happens. So playing out very nicely so far. The following 3 candles have been huge red candles, so let's just see how it plays out. We do have a lot of fair value left behind, so I wouldn't be surprised or nervous if it did have to pull back to fill that in. But nevertheless, it's going very well in our direction. If we're looking at the EMAs, the 5-minute EMA is holding as much better resistance for this. As we mentioned before the trade, this one broke out and actually traded above the EMA for probably about 10 minutes, whereas on the 5-minute you can see that we couldn't actually get 2 candles in a row close above, which is a very good sign. So this one looks to be an excellent trade. So let's not speak too soon. Now that we're at this level, we can set our stop loss to break even, but it looks like it's probably just gonna make us that profit anyway before you can even change your stop loss to break even. So there we go. Okay, so that's a nice 2.37% profit that we've just made in a matter of 12 minutes. That's amazing. Let me know in the chat who caught that. Very fast trade, caught it in the wick, stayed patient throughout all this noise, got a sniper entry, and now we've just banked 2.3%. Lovely trade. Post that one in the VIP group, let everyone know. See who caught it. TP hit plus 2.37 RR. Bosh. Awesome. Yeah, it was closed out in profit. Very nice. Closed out in profit. Very nice. Closed out in profit. Very nice. Gosh, yeah, all accounts winning. Fantastic stuff. Let me know who caught that. What a way to end the month, eh? Tom of car sales, well done, great trade. Cheers, mate. Nice little trend continuation trade using my flagship strategy. Is that what you call it? Flag? Star strategy? I don't even know what you'd call it. But there you go, nice little trend continuation. We had the bias for London session based on the reaction to the Asian session. We had lower low, lower high wave structure. We had the EMA coming in being used as resistance multiple times. We had candlestick rejection leading up to our entry zone. We stayed patient. We knew the fib level that we wanted to target beforehand. And yeah, everything ticked the boxes. That's a nice 2.4%. Lovely way to end the month. So this week we're up about 6%. In total. That's using 1% risk per trade. Obviously if you use 2%, then you're up 12%, and if you use 5% on personal accounts, you're up about 30% this week. Time is getting on a little bit in the London session, so it's approaching 11 AM. There is potential for more trades, but I think I might just not get greedy with this today, and I might just close out the stream and stop trading for the month. Tomorrow is NFP, bear in mind. So, sorry, no, it's not. Friday's NFP, it's a fucking Wednesday today. Tomorrow is the start of the month, and then Friday's NFP. My bad. Today is the end of the month, so this is the last trading day of the month. So we're closing the month out around 7.5%, something like that. I'll update the track record and post all the exact figures after this. But yeah, I think I'm probably just going to stop the live now. Walk away from the markets with our profit in hand. It's been a very profitable week. It's been a nice profitable month. So let's come together and reset, ready for next month. The next 2 days are probably going to be slow because it is NFP Friday and it's the first day of the month tomorrow. So we'll see how the markets are anyway. But yeah, just one more trading day of the week tomorrow and then off Friday. There's a lot of news today, by the way. So German CPIs, US dollar, ADP, non-farm employments, CAD GBP, and then the dollar GBP as well, and then some other dollar news later on. So it's a very red folder day. Like I said before, as long as it's not NFP or CPI or any like major news announcement, a good red folder day is very good. It's what you want because that is ultimately what is going to drive price changes. So as long as we have some form of consistency, which for all of our confluences to be met, you kind of need that consistency anyway. Then having a heavy news day is nothing to be scared of. It means that you're more likely to get those moves that you're after, compared to if you open up the economic calendar and it's completely empty. There's probably nothing moving price. So yeah, today's been a good day for it. Just bear in mind the times that the news events get released if you are going to keep on trading, because within that period where the news is anticipated and then released and then taking immediate effect in the markets, it's going to be more volatile. Spreads are going to be higher, slippage is going to be a factor to consider. But yeah, let's stop trading for today, bank our profits. Nice day, nice week, nice month. Really nothing to complain about. It's been slow throughout the middle of the month, but we've ended it with a bang. So that's why patience pays in trading. But yeah, cheers everyone for tuning in. Hopefully you've learned and profited and growing in general. And I'll see you on the next live. Take care, guys.